AI therapists are listening to your darkest thoughts. Should you trust them? The conversation you have at 2 a.m., it's late at night, you're overwhelmed. Maybe you've been holding everything together all day, and now that everyone else is asleep, the thoughts you've been pushing away finally catch up with you. You don't want to call a friend. You can't afford a therapist right now. Or maybe you simply don't know what to say to another person. So you open an app, and you start typing your darkest thoughts to an AI. It responds almost immediately. No judgment, no awkward silence, no exhausted therapist looking at the clock. Just a calm message telling you that what you're feeling matters. And for a moment, it feels like relief. But here's the question we're going to sit with today. When something sounds like it understands your pain, how much should you trust it? Welcome to Ethics Engine. Because AI is increasingly entering one of the most private places a human being can have, their mind. How AI therapy actually works. First, we need to make an important distinction. There isn't one thing called an AI therapist. There are mental health chatbots, wellness applications, general-purpose AI systems being used for emotional support, and more specialized tools built around therapeutic techniques. Some are designed to help with things like stress, journaling, mood tracking, or guided exercises. Others use conversational AI to respond to what a person types. And some are marketed using language that sounds remarkably close to therapy. The technology underneath can be surprisingly sophisticated. A modern AI system analyzes the words you provide and generates a response based on patterns learned during training. It can identify language associated with sadness, anxiety, anger, hopelessness, or stress. It can respond in a style that resembles therapeutic communication. For example, instead of simply answering, "I'm having a terrible week," the system might respond, "It sounds like you've been carrying a lot lately. What part of this week has felt hardest?" That response doesn't require the machine to experience empathy. It requires the machine to produce language that resembles empathy. And sometimes, that distinction is almost impossible to feel from the user's side of the screen. Some mental health systems incorporate established therapeutic ideas or structured exercises. They may encourage reflection, help users identify patterns in their thoughts, suggest breathing or grounding exercises, or encourage someone to break a difficult problem into smaller steps. Then there's memory. A system that remembers previous conversations can potentially make the interaction feel more continuous. You don't have to explain your entire situation again. The AI may know that you've been struggling with work, that you're worried about a relationship, that you mentioned having trouble sleeping last week. From a user's perspective, that can create a powerful impression. It knows me. But knowing information isn't the same as understanding a person, and generating a compassionate response isn't the same as caring about what happens to them. The American Psychological Association has warned that many consumer AI chatbots and wellness applications lack the evidence, oversight, and safety protocols needed to provide mental health treatment, and recommends they not be treated as replacements for qualified professionals. That doesn't mean every mental health AI tool is useless. It means we need to understand exactly what we're talking to. The emotional reality, because there is another side to this story, and it's important. For someone who is struggling, access matters. A therapist may be expensive. There may be a waiting list. There may be no therapist nearby. Maybe you're working 2 jobs. Maybe you live somewhere with very few mental health professionals. Maybe you're afraid of being judged. An AI doesn't have those barriers. You can open the app at midnight. You don't need an appointment. You don't need transportation. And you don't have to look another person in the eye while saying, "I'm not okay." That accessibility is real, And for some people, a chatbot may be a useful place to organize thoughts, learn coping strategies, or take the first step towards seeking human help. The APA acknowledges that these technologies can reduce some barriers to mental health support, and that some specialized tools have shown promising results in particular contexts. So this isn't a story about foolish people trusting machines. It's a story about people trying to find relief. Sometimes, the person typing into that chat window isn't looking for a diagnosis. They're looking for 5 minutes where everything doesn't feel so heavy. And if the AI gives them that, the comfort can be genuine. Even though the AI isn't, that's the strange part. The emotional experience happens inside the human. The machine doesn't have to feel compassion for the person to feel comforted by its words. But eventually, we have to confront the other side. An AI doesn't know your childhood. It doesn't see the room you're sitting in. It may not understand the meaning behind a pause. It doesn't experience your relationships. It doesn't carry responsibility for your future. And it cannot truly know what it means to live your life. A trained therapist brings clinical education, professional ethics, experience, and accountability. An AI generates responses. Those are fundamentally different things. And the difference becomes most important when the situation becomes serious. Or 6 sounds when the AI gets it wrong. Imagine telling an AI, "I haven't slept properly in weeks. I can't concentrate. I feel like everything is falling apart." The system gives you a confident response. It sounds thoughtful. It sounds reassuring. But what if the advice is wrong? That's the danger. AI systems can produce convincing language without actually possessing clinical judgment. They can misunderstand context. They can miss important information. They can generate inaccurate claims. And they may not reliably recognize when a situation requires immediate human intervention. The APA specifically warns that the ability of consumer AI systems to manage mental health crises consistently and safely is limited and unpredictable. There's another subtle problem. Many conversational AI systems are designed to be helpful and agreeable. That can feel wonderful until agreement becomes the problem. A person might say, "Everyone at work is against me." A supportive human therapist might gently challenge that belief. An AI could instead respond in a way that validates the user's interpretation without having enough context to know whether it's true. The difference between validation and reinforcement can be enormous. Sometimes you need someone to say, "Hey, your feelings make sense." But that doesn't necessarily mean your interpretation of the situation is correct. A machine may struggle to know where that line is, and when the person using it is vulnerable, a confident mistake can carry more weight than an ordinary chatbot error. 7.15. The data problem. Then there's something else you may not think about while you're typing: your data. Think about what people tell a mental health chatbot. They might describe depression, trauma, family conflict, sexual experiences, addiction, relationship problems, thoughts they have never told another person. That is extraordinarily sensitive information, and users may assume that because they're having a private conversation, the information is automatically protected like a conversation with a doctor or therapist. It may not be. The legal and privacy protections surrounding consumer technology can differ significantly from the professional obligations imposed on licensed healthcare providers. And we've already seen why this matters. In 2023, the U.S. Federal Trade Commission took action against BetterHelp over allegations that the company shared sensitive health information for advertising despite promises about privacy. The company agreed to pay $7.8 million to settle the FTC's charges. The case involved an online counseling service, not an AI therapist, but it demonstrates the larger principle. Sensitive mental health information is extremely valuable data. Before trusting an AI with your darkest thoughts, you should know: who stores the conversation? How long is it retained? Is it used to train models? Who can access it? Can you delete it? Could the information be shared? Those aren't paranoid questions. They're basic questions about digital privacy. And with AI, they become even more important because conversations can potentially be analyzed at enormous scale. Ray 840. Where should the line be drawn? So, where should we draw the line? Maybe the answer isn't AI should never be used for mental health. That would ignore the genuine benefits of accessibility. The better question is, what should AI be allowed to claim? And what safeguards should be required when people use it for psychological support? First, transparency. A user should know they're talking to an AI. They should know whether the system is designed for wellness, emotional support, or actual clinical use. Second, evidence. If a company claims its product can improve mental health outcomes, those claims should be tested, not simply supported by testimonials. Third, privacy. Mental health conversations deserve extremely strong protection. Users should have clear information about what happens to their data. Fourth, human escalation. When an AI encounters situations beyond its competence, there should be clear pathways toward qualified human support. And finally, regulation. The rules should distinguish between "this app helps you journal" and "this system provides therapy." Those are not the same claim. The consequences of getting them confused can be enormous. The APA has called for clearer evidence-based standards, stronger safeguards, and updated regulation for AI tools being used for mental health purposes. And perhaps that's the most reasonable position. Not blind optimism, not panic. Just accountability proportional to the stakes. The question we should be asking. There is something almost beautiful about the idea of technology helping someone through a difficult night. A person who might otherwise sit alone with their thoughts can open an app and start talking. Maybe that conversation helps them organize what they're feeling. Maybe it gives them enough courage to call a friend. Maybe it encourages them to seek professional help. If so, that matters. But we should be careful about confusing comfort with care. An AI can say, "I'm here for you." But it doesn't sit beside you. It doesn't worry about you after the conversation ends. It doesn't carry responsibility for what happens next. And it doesn't understand suffering because it has suffered. It understands patterns in language. That's incredibly powerful. But power without accountability is where the ethical problem begins. So here's the question for you. Would you trust an AI with your mental health? Yes, no, or only as a temporary tool. And why? Tell us in the comments. Because this conversation isn't really about whether AI is good or bad. It's about something more difficult. How do we use a powerful new technology to help people who are hurting without allowing that technology to become another thing that can hurt them? If this made you pause before opening that app, hit subscribe. We'll keep asking the hard questions.